Hi, my name is Stephanie Vigil, and for Edld 5352, I am doing a participatory video with Susan Mahacek, and we're going to go over some of the questions about the vision statement of our school. Susan Mahacek has been with our district for how many years? 27 years, and we're so sad she's going to be retiring this year. So Susan comes with lots of experience, lots of background. She's taught everything from itty bitties all the way through adult, and so I'm really excited to hear what she has to say and share out on this. So
thank you. I just never really thought about that, but I have pregnant students, so I get them in utero.
Yeah,
I've taught preschool kids and
continue
and senior citizens.
That's
so
right. So you definitely
yeah.
Keep us moving. All right. So our first group of questions fall under the development of a vision, and both you and I talked about this even before we even got started. You're asking, we have a vision, we have a mission, and I want you to share a little bit of what you think a vision is and a mission, and the differences, not necessarily ours, but when you hear the word vision and when you hear the word mission, what do you think?
So that's interesting you asked that, because when I was looking at what our vision statement is, I was thinking, it would be the vision for our school and how we hope to serve. Mm-hmm. And basically our vision statement explains who we are and kind of how we function. Mm-hmm. And the mission statement is more focused on our students and the service that we want to provide for our students,
right,
which is then followed by our learner outcomes that are measurable, specific, and then how we want our students to grow and meet those goals that we put in our mission statement.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that to my attention, because I truthfully had not broken it up in that way. But when I read through the words, we have the vision statements here and our mission statement. The vision statement is our philosophy, essentially, of who we are. And then the mission is the direction and guidance we're going. So when we're discussing these questions, are you going to be coming from the perspective of vision of our philosophy? Are you going to be doing perspective of our mission, or just a blend of both? It really doesn't matter. What do you think?
Well, at first, when I looked at the questions, I was thinking we were only going to start and talk about our vision. Mm-hmm. However, I think they need to be joined together,
okay,
because I think we would have a more meaningful conversation. So, yes.
Okay. So for the sake of this interview, it's going to be a crossover between vision and mission. Okay. So first question is, are you aware of our campus vision statement?
I am.
Okay. And where were you able to access? Did you just know it off the top of your head, or were you like, ooh, I better go dig it up?
Well, we recently did our WASC accreditation, so the most easily accessible for me was there. Mm-hmm. We could also look on our school website. Mm-hmm. So the vision statement we have access to in our handbook, but our mission statement, the second piece of that, is posted in all of our classrooms, and that is more of my guiding light, our mission. Because,
I agree.
Because we are much more student focused.
Yes,
school.
I agree. Totally agree with you on that. Okay, when were you first introduced to the campus vision?
I don't know what year it was, but it was whenever we did our first WASC accreditation when I was on staff. Probably in the 1990s is my guess.
That's what we were just talking about, that trying to think. I always do everything around the births of my children. So I want to say it was probably about 98, 99. Okay. So so that was when we first were introduced to the whole WASC accreditation process. Okay. Have you ever been involved in the development or revision of a campus vision?
So every time we go through that WASC process, whether it's every 6 years or 3 years, everyone has to have a voice. We are now such a small, intimate group of teachers that we rely on each other for feedback, and we have a very open, I think, staff, mm-hmm, where we work on things together.
We collaborate
a lot.
When given the opportunity,
yes,
we do collaborate a lot. Now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Something I didn't say at the beginning of our interview is you also work for another campus.
I do.
And mentioning the WASC, you all just went through your WASC.
We did.
So the vision statement, was that something when you guys looked at your vision statement for Yosemite, did you revisit it? Did it change at all? Or what? Do you even remember that? I'm kind of shifting on you here.
It did not change, but what happened changed was specific on our action plan.
Okay.
Things that we could do better to meet our students' needs and to fill in with our posture of our school.
Okay, so it still fell under the vision, but
Yes.
It was a little bit more specific to
And we
meet the
did.
needs.
We met together and we broke it apart in staff meetings. We worked in small groups. We worked in large groups to look at that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking that when we're going over this, I thought you guys just went through this, so some of this is fresh and
Yes,
new.
we did that last year. Independence this year. How lucky.
If given an opportunity to serve, would you be willing to assist in reviewing our campus vision statement? Or do you even feel that's a need?
That's a good question. I think our vision statement is fine. I think our mission statement is fine. And I usually like spending time learning how I can better serve my students in something that is really going to make a difference in the life of our students.
Okay.
We need to have a vision. We need to have a mission because that makes sure that we have a goal and we know where we're going and that we're all going in the same direction. But our students have so many needs, and anything that I can learn to help me be a better teacher to meet those needs. I do like things that we looked at this year and changes that have been made in our school that are a lot due to you and Sandy, I've got to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I do like that we changed our statement when we didn't change it. We redeveloped it a few years back to truly reflect who we were. Before it was more a reflection of, it was a little too vague, I felt, and I felt like it did not reflect the personality of our school. And so the statement's individualized, development of personal responsibility, really have meaning given our program. So that was, I really like our vision and mission statement.
And our mission statement, it's like what every teacher wants. It's wanting, those students to find their own measure of excellence, to figure out how they can fit into the world and then go out and make the world a better place. Yeah. And some of our students are struggling with that.
Right.
Teenagers in general struggle with that and trying to become independent and break away from their families and other things to go and be this independent person, go off to college, go off to the world of work. And it's a scary time for a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's times when they need probably as much, if not more, positive adult role models than any other time. So.
Okay. Do you think that the development of a campus vision is a shared responsibility?
Of course. And it needs to be shared between the teachers, the administrators, and I even like other paraprofessionals. They need to be involved in that process as well.
Students and parents.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I recall that we had meetings with parents and students present here in this room where we got opinions about how our school could change and what kinds of things and what needs do you have and how can we best meet those needs. And then looking at those needs, making sure that our wording of our mission statement reflects what the needs of our community are.
I agree. Okay, so the next section of questions deals with the articulation of a vision. And so having read the vision statement, what does it mean? And I think we've touched upon it a little bit.
The vision statement basically lets people know who we are, what our programs and services, the purpose of those, and who it's designed to serve. Okay. So.
And I think the key word, this is me hopping into our mission, is that individualized. Because we are an individualized program. And I just am so glad that we included that within that was one of the changes that we made. So do you know where a student, faculty member, or parent could get a copy of our written campus vision statement?
I assume that it's on the website.
Yeah, I believe it's on our website. Sandy and I, we were talking about this. I I have to check up on it. Our orientation packet that we give to our students when they
I have
sign
one
in.
right here.
Oh,
I need to
okay.
walk away from you.
No, that's fine. And if it's not, it should be. I really think it should be on that.
Welcome to Independence High School. This is the newest one.
I'm not seeing it.
I am not seeing it.
So I think that that would be a suggestion that we should make, because this is one of the first things that.
I think it should have both the vision statement and the mission statement on there, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Good. I'm glad you pulled that out. Okay,
Oh,
so
good. Yeah.
how do you think our campus uses innovative thinking as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
Wow, that is a big question.
It is a big question. I have to break it down. I was like,
So that's exactly what I was going to say. So innovative thinking. How do we use new modern thinking to promote our campus vision? Probably through our use of technology and making it accessible to people outside of our campus. Making it available online. What we just did now, looking at this orientation piece, and maybe that we could add that.
You know, as we're going through this, I'm remembering we must have had it somewhere, because I remember with
it's
my
in their handbook.
students, I would have them go through and this. I haven't done it this year, and this is what's like triggering me. I would have them actually read through it and highlight those words that we had in
This
there.
is just the homework packet. This isn't
Right.
that orientation book.
But this I would like for them to have on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it should be on there as well, the homework. Yeah. So, but I remember going through it with them, and I'm thinking, oh, I'd like to do that again, because it's like, this is our goals for you. This is what we want from you. So, okay, implementation of a vision is where we're going to go into next. Specifically considering our school and community, do you feel that the vision statement sufficiently addresses the challenges that our campus faces, and how?
So the vision statement discusses that it's specifically designed to meet the needs of our students, not demonstrating success in a regular school environment. It's really key, because that's who we get. We get kids whose lives are not going well, either medically, emotionally, somehow not going well. So that shows how we serve them, and each special case individualizing it. I think the more powerful piece is our mission statement, providing the individually academic challenging program. And I think we're a nice cross-section, a nice synthesis of rigor, preparing kids for college, because they have to be independent learners. They have to take control of their education, yet nurturing teachers who help them along, and we're able to differentiate instruction for every student because of our model and how we work.
Do you feel that our written vision statement is inclusive and characterized by respect for students, their families, and community partnerships?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How is that?
It is general. Yet I don't even know how to answer this. There's not emotionally charged words. They're just clear.
Well, once again, it always comes back to that individualized. When you use the word individualized, that's you are an individual person regardless of anything else. And out of respect for that, we're able to.
And I think the students see that in these beginning assignments, and trying to assess who they are and where they're going, what their interests are, what their career goals are, and doing some of those basic assessment tools that we have them do in that first packet. I think it helps every student kind of feel special, and that we really are interested in all their different skills that they have.
Good.
I like that career ed piece especially.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to hear about their response. If it match their career personality, what they were thinking, or if it went a different direction with what their career goals were. Did the personality that they came up with match with the career goals that they had? And it's always been an interesting feedback on that. So, okay, the last group of questions has to deal with the stewardship of a vision. How can you assist our campus with the stewardship of our vision, getting it into the minds and hearts of our entire school community? You do that so all the time.
I just try to be a positive role model of a caring adult.
Mm-hmm.
I try to engage all students, whether or not they're specifically on my caseload. I talk to students no matter what, because I want them to feel welcome. I like to engage with them. I want them to feel like they're important when they come to campus. It's hard because we are spread out, and there's many students that we never see if they're from Livingston or Atwater, that we don't all see every student. Compared to the other school I work at, I see all the students out at lunchtime. There's places that we can mingle and go. But I want to believe that every student feels respected.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to share a laugh with them. We may, if it's Tammy's student and she comes in, I'll say, hey, did you see a good movie this week? And
Mm-hmm.
we'll try to find some common ground. And she'll say, oh yeah, I saw such and such. And then I'll say, oh, thanks. I'll have to go watch that.
Yes,
So,
yes, you do. You do an amazing job.
Thank you. My other issue is that I always want to see our teens as resources and not as recipients of education, because they know things. By the time they be 16, 17, 18 years old, I want them to feel like they're valuable, that they can make a difference in their community. And I really appreciate when teachers are getting them involved in community service. I know Liz is doing that, and Sandy is doing that, and some of them are actually taking a community service class, and I think that's a powerful piece.
Yeah.
And it's helping our students to put a face on our school out in the community, because people don't really know who we are because we're so small.
Right.
So that makes me very happy.
That's great. Are there resources available that could assist with the stewardship of our vision? Getting that vision, just kind of, tagging off of what you're saying, getting the vision into the minds and hearts of our school and community. Community service, I think, is huge, what you're saying there. What else?
And our school is about the people that are here. And I think it's just continuing to be a voice in the community, whether we are at a Rotary meeting or some other meeting, to share the message of who we are. When you introduce, I'm a teacher at Yosemite High. Oh, really? What is that? And just let people know who we are, why we exist, because many people don't know that we do. Do you know what our enrollment is now? I don't.
I mean, I do, but not specifics.
I don't know, but compared to the old days when we had 2,000 students in summer school, or it was. Right. It's a very different
We had
trend.
about 1,000 students at one time, because there were 30 teachers. So we had a caseload of anywhere about 30, and now we're down to 7 teachers, and the caseload's even smaller. So I would say we're about 100, maybe. Yeah, about 100. So it's a small.
So that's good that comprehensive sites are finding ways to keep students on sites,
right,
and to serve those students in various ways. And then we have our CAP lab.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as you were talking about that, I think that's
creative thinking right there.
That something that initially was resisted, going to the other campuses and providing services there, as opposed to just meeting at our central site. There was some resistance on my part. There are pros and cons, but what I have seen as a benefit is it has brought us out to the rest of the district, and has been just what this is saying, a stewardship of our vision and what we represent, and how we interact with our students, and what our goals and mission are with them. So
I think that it's good. I think the CAP lab program is providing an important service. We don't have CAP lab at Yosemite. We have a credit recovery program, but we do have some students that are doing an on-track program where they're at Yosemite full-time, and then they're just taking maybe 5 credits with independent studies in addition to make up. Some of them are teen moms that just need a little bit more so they can graduate and finish on time. And that in my my experience has been successful.
Oh, good. Good. That's great.
They have a pretty serious buy-in because they need to go to college, they need to get moving on, they need to provide for their kids. So that's been good.
Good. All right. Well, do you have any other questions or thoughts before we close this out?
This has been delightful. I can't wait to see what's next in store for you. You've been a backbone of this school, and I know you will continue to be.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yay.
All right. And that concludes our interview.
Bye.
Hi, today I'm going to be interviewing Sandy Morimoto, who is a teacher with Independence High School. Let's get you in there, Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Hello.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. First question is going to be focusing on the development of a vision. So are you aware of our campus vision statement?
I know we have one, but I couldn't quote it.
Okay. Does our campus have a written vision statement?
It does.
Okay. Where would you find it? Do you know where you would find that?
I think we would find it on our WASC report. I think we would find it on our IHS website.
Okay.
I think we would, I'm not sure, but we may have it in our handbook, our teacher handbook as well.
Okay. When were you first introduced to the campus vision?
I believe that was when we went through our last big WASC.
Okay. So can you guesstimate how many years
I'm thinking,
or time frame?
Maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay, so that was when you first introduced to it. Yeah, that makes about sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you or have you been involved in the development or revision of our campus vision?
I was involved in the origination of it, but I don't know that it's been revised. I don't remember if it has been.
I think, remember when Claudia, when we did that, our WASP visit, and that was when we restated our statement to be inclusive of students with special needs. We changed the wording on it.
But wasn't that for the original WASC? I thought that was the original WASC, not because we've had 2 checks since we had the big one, right? We've just had this one this year, and then we had one last year, or the year before, where the same lady came in, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was on our original one. I don't know. I can't remember. Because Claudia was Claudia here for the second one? I mean, I'm sorry, the first check. The first or second.
Okay, wait. Okay, so we're in 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go. So this was 2014, I believe, was when we had
our original.
The original.
So 2016 was the first checkup.
Right, but 2014 is when we revised it.
Oh.
And that was when Claudia was there.
Okay, well, that's when I thought we originated it.
Yeah,
okay.
or originated
Okay.
it. Well, we took what was there and we shifted it to fit our program
yes,
better.
We did.
Okay.
But that wasn't really aware of a mission statement prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was the origination, and in your case, you're right.
Yeah.
It was a revision. Yeah.
Okay. If given an opportunity to serve, would you be willing to assist in reviewing our campus vision statement?
If I had to, I would.
What do you mean by that?
If you asked me to do it, I would do it. But I'm not going to put my hand up and say I'll do it first thing.
Given the small amount of our numbers, we're all so involved and responsible. Okay. Who do you feel should be involved in reviewing or developing a written campus vision statement?
I think the teachers should be. I see the teachers and administration.
Okay. Do you feel that students and other stakeholders, parents?
Probably.
Okay.
I think probably that would probably be a very good idea.
Have the opportunity to be part of it. Give them that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Do you think, well, then this next one, the development of a campus vision is a shared responsibility. If so, who shares the responsibility? That's what we just talked about.
Okay, so
yeah.
well, I'm going to just say this. The reason why I said it was the teachers and the principals is because honest to goodness, or the administrator, honest to goodness, I feel like the only reason that we have a mission statement is for WASC. That's my true belief, because we can go into that later. But I think that because we're going through the process of making ourselves accessible, to be successful in a WASC, we have to have a mission statement. And so that's, honest to goodness, that's my feel of why we have one.
It's words on a paper.
It's words on a paper.
Okay. We're not walking the talk.
We're not, well, we are, because when we wrote it according to what we were already doing, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I think we are walking the walk and talking the talk. But I think what we were doing already was a driving force in the creation of it.
Okay. Having read the vision statement, what does it mean? Did this, by looking over these questions, did you go back and look at our vision statement?
I think we went over it you and I went over it for something. And what does it mean? For me, I really, like I said, it's a bunch of words. For me, it's something we do anyway. It's individually, helping our students to academically be successful, but also as people, as, citizens, to be personally responsible, to grow up to be able to take care of themselves and the people that, are in their world.
Okay. Do you know where a student, faculty member, or parent could get a copy of our written campus vision statement?
I'm thinking, like I said, I think it's on our website. Yeah. I really do.
I also think it may be when they do that orientation. It'd be interesting. We'll have to look at our orientation packet that we gave our students. Now that we're talking about this, it makes me want to look at that, because for some reason in my mind, I think it may be on that orientation.
On that first page, I don't think, is it? Maybe.
I don't know.
It is in our teacher's handbook, because you and I made that teacher's handbook, and we put it in there. Right.
Yeah.
But as far as students and parents go,
we'll have to look at that, because that would be a good place to put it. How does the campus use innovative thinking as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
How does the campus
use innovative thinking as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
I don't think, when you're talking about the campus,
Independence High School,
I just feel that the teachers do that individually, according to each kid and how they relate to each kid and what would be most successful. I don't think that there's a blanket thing that the camp policy. I just feel that each teacher does that individually with each kid.
Right. I can say that I know we've shared frustrations about what do I want to say? The mission and vision statement and possibly the criteria and accountability to that, to support it. We don't have the clear-cut data to support that.
That's true.
However, I can say what I have found with our with our school is we do receive support and autonomy to develop an experiment as much as we would like to. Do you think?
I agree. I do think that we are pretty much left alone. To do our job. I appreciate that. And the thing that's really good about this school is I really feel like the teachers, each teacher doesn't ever take that for granted. I mean, there's a lot of places that you would have teachers that would take that freedom or flexibility for granted and abuse it. I don't feel that our teachers do that. I think that the staff that we have are very good about truly staying student focused.
Right. And putting student needs first.
Yes.
I agree.
And I think that we are given that. I mean, I have to just say that about our jobs, is that we are given that.
I think the thing that, because I see that in each one of us, that drive and that desire, that's what makes me think, oh my gosh, if we could just pull together, how powerful that would be, similar to what we experienced.
Yes,
we were developing
Yes.
about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. Well, that is the
Is that
end of
it?
our interview.
Did we do
girl.
15 minutes?
If we didn't, that's okay.
Okay.
I got 2 more, so
do?
I
Oh.
have, yes. So
Okay.
I'm sure we can chatter along with that.
Okay, well, good luck
all right,
with
so
this.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Stephanie Vigil, and today I am doing my participatory video for EDLD 5352. My interview today is with Mr. Vigil. Mr. Vigil is an administrator. He is a superintendent of West Park School District. Welcome, Mr. Vigil. Thank you for participating in this video.
Thank you for inviting me, and look forward to answering your questions today.
Okay, well, I sent you some of the questions for the sake of time, because I do appreciate your time. And the purpose of this video is to be looking at the vision of your school. And so in pulling up my information through your student accountability, your school accountability report card, I show that you have 2 schools. So you want to give us a little bit of background, please?
Yeah, we have a K-8 public elementary school, which serves 2 preschools and has about 404 students. And then in our other school, it's a K-12 charter. And it's a dependent charter, which means that all their operations comes directly out of our districts and supported. So they're tied to the hip with our district. They serve approximately 300 students in 2 different communities.
Are there 2 different vision and mission statements are they each 2 separate schools?
Yes, because the programs are designed differently. There are 2 different, so they operate off of 2 different missions and 2 different visions. One of them is a non-seat program, which allows students, and that's the charter, that allows students a flexible schedule and an opportunity to work at their own pace. And some of it operates somewhat of a hybrid of a home school and an independent study program. The K-8, now it's TK, but the K-8 elementary is a public school seat-based program.
Okay, well, the 2 interviews that I did were from staff members from an alternative school setting as well. They were similar to your charter school that you described to me. Why don't we just focus in on one school for the purpose of this interview and for time? So which of the 2 would you like to focus in on today, the charter or your elementary school?
I think let's look at the elementary school since we're going through transitions.
Okay, that sounds good. And if at any time you feel like the charter it applies or you want to pull that in, just jump in with that and just make sure that distinction is made known. Okay. So we're looking at West Park Elementary School District. One of the things that we are focusing on is the vision. So I'm hoping you're aware of your campus vision. Are you aware of your campus vision?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been at this district?
This is my 12th year. And when I first arrived, there was really no stated vision. So we had worked together in establishing something. And since then, it's been massaged, if you will. We've gone in and have to work on trying to establish our vision. Some of the influences and variables have to come from regulations that the state puts forth. So once we've adjusted to those, then we want to make sure that our vision is applicable and that it's established in such a way that our vision is kind of the guiding statement and the mission statement that we establish are maybe the working statements that support the vision. Some school districts have it flipped around where their mission is their guiding statement and their vision is their operating, but we have it vision as our stated direction or overall goal.
Okay. So does your campus have a written vision statement?
Yeah. In fact, I have it right here and I can read it off to you. It's West Park Elementary School envisions that every student leaves better than they entered. All students are to be at grade level in their academic performance.
Okay. And you said that it is written. Is it available for the public to see? And if so, where is that found?
We'll find our statements in varying places, not only on the campus, but also on communications that go out to the parents.
Okay. Now, one of the things that you mentioned earlier is that when you first came to West Park, there was not a recognized vision. So what was the process to create that? And was there a review of what was there? How did you go about developing that vision statement?
Well, we did a kind of a school study, but we also included all stakeholders, which included our classified staff, our certificated staff, our parents, some of our partners like the County Office of Education, and then some of our other supports that are like public municipalities that work, I want to say social agencies that work with our district. So those stakeholders kind of looked at us, and we kind of looked at and reviewed overall, our parents included, and they kind of gave input on what they'd like to see from our school. So
it sounds like that you definitely feel that the development of a campus vision is a shared responsibility.
It's a shared input. The responsibility ultimately falls back on the district to implement, but yeah, there's shared input. We have a strong, I want to say, community base. And when I say that, it's a little bit different in that it's generational. So we have a lot of grandparents and great-grandparents who've attended West Park years past, and they want to uphold certain particular traditions at the school. So that makes their influence pretty impactful as well. But as far as the shared responsibility, as far as input in stating the direction we should go, but how we uphold it, that really stems out of our administration and our teachers and those support staffs and the operations as far as making it happen.
Okay. One of the things that we're focusing on in addition to the development of the vision is that articulation, which we talked a little bit about, how you said there is a vision statement that is in different places. How does your campus use innovative thinking as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
I'm not quite sure I understand the direction of that question.
Okay. Well, I guess what it would be is looking at your campus vision. What are some innovative approaches that you use to meet the goals of that vision?
Of course, just our basic communications, we have a strong technology foundation at our school. So using our communications through our technology, whether it's our phone callers or whether it's within our labs and so forth, and which we find to be innovative in its use in practicum. Other areas is within our program designs. Whenever we talk about how our funding is going to occur, we look at our vision and our mission and see how that's linked to it. Now that California has gone to the LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan, we have to align all that with the curriculum.
Okay, because in your vision statement, you say that West Park envisions that every student leaves better than they entered. So what are, I guess, innovative technological ways you're doing that?
Okay, so every student at our district gets a technology curriculum, and some of it's embedded, but most of it is direct instruction. So that's one area we feel that we have a strong intervention. So students who come in below grade level in particular areas oftentimes use curriculum through technology to help bring them up to speed. And where they cannot do that, they have direct support through tutors, intervention, RTI programs that we have. We have after school SES, we have after school programs. SES being the supplemental education support that they get. Programs like Reading and Beyond, Math Counts, they will get support in those areas. Some of them are driven through technology, others are through direct instruction and through bringing support programs into our school.
Okay. Do you feel that your school and community given your school and community, do you feel that that vision statement sufficiently addresses the challenge that your campus faces?
I think the vision gives us the target. Do we sufficiently meet it? We are not a high-performing district, and one of the challenges is changing the mindsets of those who are implementing to meet the challenges. Since there's been so many regulatory changes lately, we've gone from CST to the current SBAC, which is going from the old API results on instruction to the current Common Core. We found that instruction has shifted, and we've kind of got caught in the intervention piece where we find the need is still there, but we have to break away from the intervention to apply the Common Core. So the results have not really been what we want. But again, we're still adjusting to the state regulatory aspects of curriculum. The results will come once we start establishing that groundwork. So I think the mission still and the visions still are held true to what we want. And how we're going to get there, I think, needs to shift. So we will be addressing our mission statement probably at the end of this year as we see the results of the state test scores.
Right. So looking over your vision and mission, it seems like what I'm hearing is your vision will stay the same, but given the different ways of accountability now, the strategies may change to reflect what you're being held accountable for, and how the students are being assessed.
Absolutely.
And it's been a learning process. I know at our site it's been a learning process and a moving target.
A moving target, correct.
So it's been challenging. Do you feel that your vision statement is inclusive and characterized by respect for students, families, and community partnerships?
Yes, I think it is, because one of the key things at our site, of course, is our embracing not only diversity, but and when we say inclusive, it's all elements of instruction. The challenge is we're such a small district and we're in a rural area, so getting the resources there is one. But as far as its application, our students have full access. More important, application to resources are made available and applied daily. And so every student will have opportunities to meet the goal and challenges, is having to set those bars of rigor that align with the current assessments that we are being challenged with. But as far as textbooks, every student has a textbook at home and at school for the core subjects. Every student has access to technology. Every student has support where needed and identified, whether it's through special ed IEP, whether it's through English learning program, or whether it's through the 504s. We run a school-wide RTI, response to intervention, and that's done daily in both the language arts and in the math area.
Okay. So in talking about the vision, we talked about the development of your vision. We talked about the articulation, how it's shared out. We talked about the implementation. The last piece that I'd like to talk about is the actual stewardship of the vision. How do you assist your campus with the stewardship of the vision? How do you try to get it into the minds and hearts of your entire school community?
Well, we make ourselves available. Administration is at the site. We make ourselves visible. I always let everybody know that they're to be seen first, and then we can do our paperwork at a time when there's a lull. But when students are out and about, and when teachers are out and about, we want to make sure that we're visible, that we're engaging, interacting, guiding, that they see us there, just socially and visible. Once they're in class and it's quiet down, we have that 10 or 15 minute stretch where we can jump into our offices and do whatever paperwork we do. That's what we encourage to be done, so that business is continuous and taking order. Our people of operations have a huge responsibility in making those external communications on our part and behalf to keep us informed and keep our calendars moving. I use calendar management strategies with our management team, which means we work off calendar, and we work off several weeks ahead of time, as well as an annual calendar, as well as specialized meetings that we have embedded in there, so that the regular communications is happening. If a concern comes up or if a direction is going to be changed, that change does not take place unless communication is completed amongst all the administration and management, so that we're on the same page and we don't have people saying, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, or surprises come up. Those things still do happen, but they've been minimized because of our, our planning and I guess our calendaring of our meetings and information sharing.
Okay. Not being a teacher in your district, I want to ask you, do you feel your teachers, if asked these questions, would be able to answer that they know the vision of the school or the mission? What do you think their responses would be?
I would say that our seasoned teachers have been there, those teachers who are new to our school, outside of orientation, I don't know if they've been there long enough to have cycled through. We did have some turnover over the last couple of years, so that presents the challenges. But I was just talking to human resources regarding our orientation and the frequency of information that's foundational to our employees. How often is that brought? And we find that there's a need, that we have a need in increasing that aspect, especially for our newer employees. Our seasoned employees, yes, they have been very much have lived it, and so the newer ones have not yet lived it. Although they may have that in their mind's eye and not know any different, just think, oh, this is the way they do things. Our climate is very interactive. A lot of people feel it's a very friendly climate and real people engaging climate. But going back to the technical aspects of understanding the vision and its application, I think there's some work to be done, especially with the newer employees, and which, just lately we've had a number, and I would say probably close to 25% of our staff is probably within a year or two. Okay.
All right. Well, this concludes our interview. I appreciate your time so much, and thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.